In this video, I'll walk you through the foundational concepts of inventory and warehouses. First of all, it's important to know that inventory and products are separate things. A product, for example a t-shirt, can exist in Brightpearl without any inventory in stock. When a merchant receives stock of the t-shirt, inventory is added as a separate resource. Inventory is managed over the API using the warehouse service. You increase inventory levels using a goods in note received against a purchase order, or a simple stock correction. You can also receive inventory from a customer return against a sales credit. And then you decrease inventory levels by shipping a goods out note, which is created for a sales order, or by doing a stock correction. Inventory levels can never go below zero. In many cases, you might want to reserve inventory for a sale without actually removing it from stock. In Brightpearl, this is called allocation. The quantity you have on hand is the quantity in stock less the quantity allocated, and the on-hand quantity is sent over to sales channels as the quantity available to sell. When inventory is allocated to a sale, something called a reservation note is created in the background. When the sale is later fulfilled, the reservation note is replaced with a goods out note without changing the allocation levels. When the goods out note is shipped, the in-stock quantity is reduced. Here's an example. The hub on this order has been fulfilled to create a goods out note, which is not yet shipped, so the fulfillment creates an allocation, reducing the 10 in stock to 9 on hand. The spokes and tyres are only allocated to the sale, there's no goods out note because they've not been fulfilled, but that still reduces the on-hand levels by the quantity allocated. The rim cannot be allocated as there's no inventory in stock for the warehouse on this order. The on-order figures here would show anything if there were unreceived purchase orders for this item. In other words, incoming inventory due to arrive later. You can set up as many warehouses as you need. They typically represent a physical address, but can be used to differentiate major areas within one address if you want to ring-fence inventory for any reason. When integrating stock levels between Brightpearl and a sales channel, you select one or more warehouses. You might also want to create a warehouse in Brightpearl to represent inventory that somebody else holds for you, such as a 3PL or Amazon FBA. Within a warehouse, you've got locations and zones. Locations are a 4-tiered system for managing an item's position within a warehouse, for example aisle, bay, shelf and bin. Every warehouse has also got a quarantine location in addition to the other locations. This is used when receiving goods from other warehouses or receiving goods back on a customer return. All inventory must have a location. If you're using the Brightpearl WMS app for warehouse management, then you can make use of zones to group your locations and use the barcode to improve efficiency. Inventory can be transferred around within a warehouse using an inventory movement or an internal transfer, or between warehouses using a stock transfer or an external transfer. An inventory movement within a warehouse is just for a single item, much like a stock correction. An external transfer is created as a list of items, a bit like an order, which is then processed to create a goods out note which is picked, packed and shipped, just like a goods out note for a sales order. There are 3 tiers of location management in Brightpearl. No location management, which means you don't track where inventory is stored, other than by warehouse. Simple location management, where every SKU is always stored in the same location for each warehouse, which is defined on the product record. And then there's multiple concurrent location management, where each batch of a given SKU can be stored in a different location based on where there's space, or perhaps using 2 locations, a pick location and a bulk storage location. In the example screenshot, you can see that there's 10 of an item in stock, spread over 2 locations, 0000 and A1A2. There are 2 rows for A1A2 because they were received in at different prices, and they'll go out using first in, first out or FIFO. Brightpearl is an accounting system as well as an order processing and inventory management system. The asset value or cost of inventory is very important. The asset or cost of goods is added when inventory is received on a purchase order or a stock correction, and it affects the company balance sheet immediately. Cost of goods sold is recorded when inventory is shipped or when it's removed from stock, and that contributes directly to the profit calculations. Therefore, you should always receive inventory with an accurate cost value to make the profits correct. In most cases, inventory should be received against a purchase order, and the purchase order will have the most appropriate cost for the item. If you're making manual inventory corrections, make sure you choose the right cost price too. So that's a quick summary of inventory management concepts in Brightpearl. For full detail, take a look at the inventory management training course.